Hey, good morning, David Hawk here. Today I want to take you through the second part of the tutorial. I just want to take you through the left-hand side of the xTool Studio program and just show you kind of what's in there, because there's some really cool things. I love this main menu. When you click that, you get all this stuff over here, but you can, file, edit, arrange, and most of that stuff you can guess what that is. You do have weld and unweld, which is a cool feature. I'll get into that. But the file, I love this part. I've talked about this a lot of times, so if I'm being redundant, sorry, but I just think it's so amazing because you can export your file that you have. And of course you can export it as a XCS file, which I'm assuming at some point they'll change the XCS acronym because that's xTool Creative Space. But for now, that's what we've got. But what is really cool is you can come down here and export as a SVG, PNG, or JPEG. So you can export in any format that you need to do whatever you need to do. If you want to put that, as a picture, if you want to share it with somebody as an SVG that might have another kind of laser machine or another laser software that doesn't read XCS files, you could still share files with them. And then, sorry, didn't mean to click out of that, publish to Atom. That is xTool store where they hold all the templates and things, which I'll go to in a second. But that's where all that is. So you can publish to the Atom store and you can get credits. I don't know that I'm signed in right now, but they'll give you, I don't know, it's like 800 or 900 credits if you upload at least one time. I've uploaded twice and I didn't get credits the second time, so I don't really know exactly how that works. But I know your first time you'll get credits, or I expect you will. I did. Of course, you can rename a file. I haven't even named this one. Save as, so if you have a file that you want to, sorry, I seem to be going backwards here. It's kind of how my mind works sometimes. But I'll get there, I promise. I use this stuff all the time. So if you have a file, like I did this when I had the Halloween lantern boxes, I had that file. Well, what you can do is if you want to basically duplicate the file, you can say save as, and you can save it as another name, and that's going to keep your original file and also create another file. So what I did was, to those Halloween boxes, I pulled in Christmas images and then called it a Christmas lantern box. So all that, of course, import is import anything that you have, images or whatever, open project, open a new project or open existing project. So edit, I'm not going to go through all this. This seems really, if you've used the computer before, you've done editing with copy paste and all that. Arrange is, so if we come over here, let's get another set of text. So we'll just call this new text, not text. Hit engrave so we can see it. And now what we can do is when we go to arrange, you can see it's bring to front, send to back, whatever. So it just arranges your images on your desktop if that's how you want to do them. So that's easy enough. Text, obviously, we have nothing. Let me select this. So once you've got something selected, you can do the size, you can do all uppercase, which that can really throw you out. Luckily, you can change that back. Alignment, it's just your regular alignment like you'd have in Microsoft Word or anything. Weld and unweld. So this is kind of an interesting thing. I'll get to that in a second, but then convert to path is where you're going to go into, let me just show you. So now all of a sudden you can edit it with this, I can't remember what that's called. Yeah, I should. A vector, compound vector. That's what I'm looking for. So I want to back that up because I don't want that as a compound vector. Back it up again. Okay, now we're out of compound vector. So once we come back, we go into text. No, still compound vector. Doggone it. I may just have to redo that. Okay, we're back. No more compound vector. The undo button is your friend. Back into text. Come on. If it doesn't work this time, I'm just going to do new. Okay, here we go. So now you can do split text, and what that does is it will allow every letter to be its own thing. So now if you've seen those things where you've got some kind of crazy looking big letter. Let's just change this one. So now you can go one at a time. You can, edit one at a time. So that kind of thing you can do with that. Again, I want to come back. You know what? I'm just going to get rid of this whole thing and start new because it's just going to be easier. So there we go. Engrave. Now what I want to show you is when we go to text. This is, a lot of people seem to ask this question, and it's the weld and the unweld. So what you have to do is get your text to touch. So if you come up here, you can see this is your, it says more, but basically you've got your alignment and your spacing. So if we go here, you can see we started pulling everything together. That you can do separately. You don't have to go completely with just the clicks. You can type in whatever you want to get it just right. This is something that I really like about xTool Studio, is that you can really fine-tune things as much as you want. So you can see all our text is touching other than that. Oh, looks like the N is not touching either. So we need, this is one of the issues with a weld. You have to get them to touch. I'm just going to go ahead and try and weld it here, and let's see what happens if we. Well, what's going to happen is it'll do it. So now our text is welded, but what the problem is that T, once we do the engrave or cut, it's going to lose that T. So let's check this font. This is where you kind of got to find your fonts, and it takes a little bit of playing with, honestly. You can see that didn't work too good, so let's do 0.4. This is a good font, and sometimes what I like to do is, if I like this font and things aren't exactly touching, is do the letters individually and then kind of pull them in and then do a copy, which, let me show you what I mean. So let's duplicate that, bring it up here. So let's say I just want the T in tutorial. So let's get rid of all of that. And now what we're left with is the T. So I get rid of that. And now I can bring this in and set it where I want. Not quite enough, was it? So now what you could do, I need to do this S, and obviously something with the O's. Grab everything. This offset really works for a lot of different things. So this is something too. Now look what happens when we offset. We can come over and get everything kind of put together. Let's see, did our O's touch? Our O's touched, but the T didn't touch. Anyway, I'm going to go with that for now. So what we've got is, this is all welded. Let's hit it engrave. So it's welded, and you can cut, and all this is going to cut. All these little things are going to cut. So you kind of, I think it's a little bit more of an advanced feature, but it's a really cool feature, and it's really not that hard. It's just a little bit tedious. So now that we've shown that, let's get rid of that. Pull this back down on the canvas. Get rid of that. Okay, so that's text. I think that's enough there. If you want me to go further into that kind of stuff and maybe do some of the welding and things and get it closer, let me know. I'm happy to do that. Of course, you can just change whatever here. It's not that big a deal. Your help is always there, user guide. And then settings is cool because it gives you the settings for your machine, so you can change the metric, inches, these different units. I don't even know what those are, honestly. If you do, please share it in the comments. And then all these settings for your machine. So you can check that out. Let's go on because we're taking longer. Where are we? 11 minutes already. I gotta get going. So the plus button is an import. We've got the text, obviously, we just went through. This is kind of cool. If you want to just do a quick circle, you can click on that, and you have to pull it in and grab your mouse and kind of pull it, or else it won't just pop onto the canvas. So you can see I just did that. And then if you want to, change it to get a perfect circle, you unlock your aspect ratio, and I go to straight numbers, and now we've got a perfect circle. Then you can lock your aspect ratio again. So now you've got a perfect circle from there, and that's just the really quick. Now if you want to get into more elements, it's here. Templates, I kind of went into, there are a ton of templates. You can search templates, although I found the search to be not super good. I was looking for a witch hat that didn't seem to come up. Yeah, this is not actually what I was talking about. I'm talking about in the elements. But anyway, this is still not spectacular. I'm looking for a witch hat, and that looks like all Christmas. But you can see all these templates that people have added. Some are paid, some are not. So, check that out. Make sure you figure that out before you get into it. This one's actually a free one. So you can go download this for free, and then you get instructions with it. People have to upload the instructions to tell you about the project. You can see what kind of machine they ran it on. This is something that does not really matter. And I say that because if your machine can run basswood, you're good with this, downloading this, whether you've got the S1 40 watt, 20 watt, a D1 would do this. I mean, any of them would do this pretty much, because all of the machines will cut basswood. Even the new UV will cut basswood. So if you've got that machine, you can download this file and just just change it to your machine when you get it, and it'll change a lot of the parameters and things to fit your machine. So that's templates. I really like templates a lot because it's quick. You can go in and find something. This is elements. This is where I said my search didn't work, or what I was thinking of anyway. So we did witch hat. Let's see what comes up here. Yeah, so it doesn't really work spectacular, and I guess it's just the naming. I don't really know why, but you can see once you click into these things, you get all kinds of other images. So you're free to use all of these. That one's kind of cool, isn't it? I like that one. So anyway, with xTool Studio, you get a lot more of these than you used to get in XCS. So here you can see there are multiple witch hats in this software, and it didn't pull any of those. But there are really some cool images, so highly recommend you go in and check out the elements section. Okay, elements section. And then of course you've got applications. I'm going to go into applications in another video because we're already 15 minutes in. I think that's long enough for this video. Again, I don't want to bore you or get you to where, I don't like watching videos that are, if it's on YouTube, typically I'm a 15 to 30 minute guy. But anyway, that's it. If I'll get into applications next, and it's got some really cool stuff in there. That's why I want to stop, because I think that's going to be the full next video is applications. So I appreciate you watching. If you know anybody that you think this video might help, please feel free to share it with them. I would love that. Also, if you like the video, if you'd like, even subscribe to my channel, I'd love that too. And I'll talk to you in the next video. See ya. Thanks.